You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not imagining it. There is someone pulling your strings, and tonight, we cut them all. Right now, as you're watching this, there's someone in your life who has figured out the exact combination to your emotional safe. They know which words make you crumble, which looks make you question everything you believe about yourself, which silences make you desperately scramble to fix problems you never created. They've turned you into their personal marionette, and you've been dancing to their twisted music for so long, you've forgotten what your own rhythm sounds like. But here's what they don't know. Here's the secret that's about to change everything. Every puppet has a choice. Every slave can become free. Every victim can transform into something so powerful, so unbreakable, that the very people who once controlled them will tremble at the sight of who they've become. I'm talking about the colleague who somehow makes you feel guilty for their failures, the friend who weaponizes your compassion like a sniper with a rifle, the family member who has convinced you that love means suffering in silence, the partner who has gaslit you so expertly that you apologize for existing. These people are emotional terrorists, and today we declare war on their tyranny. Marcus Aurelius didn't just face manipulation. He faced an entire empire of people trying to control his mind, his decisions, his very soul. And from the depths of that psychological warfare, he discovered something that will shatter every chain around your heart. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But this isn't just about strength. This is about becoming so psychologically bulletproof that manipulators can't even see you as a target anymore. You see, they've been feeding on your need to be loved, to belong, to matter. They've turned your beautiful heart into a weapon against yourself. Every time you bend to make them comfortable, you break a little more. Every time you silence your truth to keep their peace, you disappear a little further. They've convinced you that you're the problem, that you're too sensitive, too demanding, too much. But what if I told you that your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your big heart isn't a weakness, but the very thing that will make you invincible? Tonight, we don't just learn about manipulation, we perform surgery on your soul. We extract every lie they've planted in your mind. We rebuild you from the inside out, using principles so powerful that ancient emperors used them to rule the world. We transform you from prey into predator, from victim into victor, from puppet into puppet master. But I need you to prove you're ready for this transformation. Smash that like button if you're done being played. Drop a comment telling me who you're thinking about right now, the manipulator whose power over you ends today. Subscribe and ring that bell, because we're about to go to war, and warriors need reinforcements. Don't you dare skip a single second of this video. Your freedom depends on every word. Drop this battle cry in the comments. I choose war over surrender. Now, let's get into it. Here's the truth that will make your blood run cold and your spirit soar simultaneously. Every manipulator is a failed director trying to turn your life into their personal horror movie. But you're not the star, you're the victim they've typecast to die in Act 3. Picture the last time they hurt you. Remember how they orchestrated that pain like a conductor leading a symphony of suffering. The way they perfectly timed their cruelty. How they knew exactly which emotional buttons to press to make you explode, then blame you for the explosion. That wasn't passion, that wasn't love, that wasn't even anger. That was calculated psychological warfare disguised as a relationship. Epictetus, who spent his entire childhood as a literal slave before becoming one of history's most liberated minds, saw through this illusion with laser precision. Don't be deceived by the impressions you receive. He knew something that will save your life. Manipulators aren't reacting to you, they're programming you. Every word is a line of code designed to make you respond in predictable ways. They study you like a scientist studies a lab rat. They learn your triggers, your fears, your desperate need to be good enough. Then they create elaborate experiments to see how much pain you'll endure before you finally submit completely. Your guilt? That's not conscience, that's conditioning. Your anxiety around them? That's not love, that's trauma bonding. Your desperate need to fix things? That's not compassion, that's programming. But here's what breaks the spell forever. The moment you see the performance, you stop being part of the cast. When you recognize that their tears are theater, their rage is rehearsed, their love bombing is just emotional heroin designed to keep you addicted to their abuse, something magnificent happens. You become the audience, and audiences have the ultimate power. They can stand up and walk out in the middle of the show. Tonight, you stop auditioning for their approval. Tonight, you stop memorizing lines in a play where you're always the villain. Tonight, you fire the director who's been ruining your life story and take back the pen. You are not their character. You are the author of your own destiny. Your emotions are not public property. They are not community resources for every emotional vampire to feast upon. They are your private kingdom, and it's time to build walls so high and thick that no manipulator will ever breach them again. Right now, someone in your life has convinced you that their emotional state is your responsibility. When they're angry, you panic. When they're disappointed, you crumble. When they withdraw their approval, you chase them like a drug addict, desperate for another hit. They've turned you into an emotional slave, and your feelings have become their private playground. Marcus Aurelius faced assassination attempts, betrayals, and psychological torture that would destroy most people. Yet he discovered the secret that makes you invincible. Confine yourself to the present, not their present, not their emotions, not their crisis, your present, your emotions, your reality. The moment you stop letting their emotional storms determine your inner weather, you become more dangerous to them than an army. Listen carefully, because this will save your life. Manipulators are emotional terrorists. They create chaos, manufacture crisis, and orchestrate drama because they feed on your reactions. Your panic is their power source. Your guilt is their gasoline. Your desperation to make them happy is the oxygen that keeps their manipulation alive. But what happens when you stop feeding the beast? They escalate. They become more dramatic, more cruel, more desperate. And this is the moment that separates victims from victors. Victims see the escalation and think they're failing. Victors see the escalation and recognize it for what it is: the death throes of someone losing their power over you. Here's your new emotional protocol. When they try to make their crisis your emergency, you stay calm. When they try to make their anger your anxiety, you stay peaceful. When they try to make their dysfunction your responsibility, you stay free. You become like water, impossible to grasp, impossible to control, impossible to manipulate. Your emotional thermostat belongs to you. Your inner peace is your property. Your mental health is your responsibility. And anyone who tries to hijack your emotional state is declaring war on your soul. From this moment forward, you are emotionally sovereign. Your boundaries are not suggestions. They are not negotiable. They are not the opening bid in some twisted negotiation. They are sacred laws written in the blood of every time someone crossed them and you said nothing. Tonight, we declare those lines holy ground. You want to know why you feel so violated, so exhausted, so angry all the time? Because you've been living in a world without walls. You've allowed emotional intruders to ransack your peace, steal your energy, and desecrate your dignity. You've been so afraid of being called selfish that you've become selfless to the point of self-destruction. Seneca faced Emperor Nero, a man who could execute him for breathing wrong. Yet, even under the threat of death, he understood something that will revolutionize your existence. Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks the truth turns from the new to the eternal. Your boundaries aren't new ideas you picked up from a self-help book. They are eternal truths about your worth, carved into the foundation of your soul. Here's what no one tells you about boundaries. Healthy people don't test them. They respect them. Only manipulators, abusers, and emotional predators spend their time trying to find ways around your limits. When you say no, and someone immediately starts negotiating, you're not dealing with a confused person. You're dealing with a predator who just identified you as prey. They will call you selfish. They will say you've changed. They will accuse you of not caring anymore. Good. Let them reveal their true nature. Let them show you that they never loved the real you. They loved the version of you that had no boundaries, no standards, no self-respect. They loved their victim, and they're furious that their victim has died and been reborn as a warrior. From this moment forward, your boundaries are sacred. They are lines drawn in the sand, backed by the full force of your self-worth. Cross them, and you don't get explanations, apologies, or second chances. You get exiled from the kingdom of your life. Because you are not a democracy where everyone gets a vote on how you should be treated. You are a dictatorship, and the dictator is you. Here's the psychological weapon that will end every manipulation attempt instantly. Strategic indifference. Not coldness, not cruelty, but the supernatural power of caring so little about their approval that their manipulation tactics bounce off you like bullets off Superman's chest. You've been conditioned to believe that caring deeply about everyone makes you a good person. But what if I told you that caring about the wrong people is actually evil? What if your desperate need for toxic approval is enabling their abuse? What if your refusal to be indifferent is destroying both of you? Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire where millions of people tried to manipulate him daily. Senators, generals, family members, everyone wanted something from him. And he discovered the secret that saved his sanity. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? He learned that being emotionally invested in manipulators causes more damage than the manipulation itself. Right now, there's someone whose opinion controls your entire emotional state. One text from them can ruin your day. One look of disapproval can shatter your confidence. One moment of their anger can send you into a panic spiral of self-doubt. You've given them godlike power over your peace, and they're using it to torture you for sport. But what if you just stopped caring? What if their anger became background noise? What if their disappointment became irrelevant? What if their approval became worthless currency in the economy of your self-worth? The moment you become indifferent to their emotional manipulation, something incredible happens. They lose their power. Not gradually, not slowly, instantly. This is your superpower. This is your kryptonite to their manipulation. When they rage, you feel nothing. When they guilt-trip, you feel amused. When they try to make you chase them, you turn and walk away whistling. You become emotionally untouchable, psychologically bulletproof, spiritually invincible. The manipulator in your life survives on your emotional reactions. They need your desperation like a vampire needs blood. But vampires die in sunlight, and manipulators die in indifference. Stop feeding them your emotional energy. Watch them starve. Watch them panic. Watch them reveal their true nature as they desperately try every trick in their playbook on someone who simply doesn't care anymore. This is the final transformation, the ultimate revolution, the moment you stop being human and become divine. You are about to become your own source of love, validation, and worth. You are about to become emotionally self-sufficient. You are about to become God in your own life. Every manipulator who ever controlled you succeeded because you believed the greatest lie ever told, that your worth comes from outside yourself. They convinced you that love is earned, approval is purchased, and value is determined by other people's opinions. They turned you into a beggar for scraps of affection from people who wouldn't cross the street to help you if you were dying. Epictetus, who understood worthlessness as a slave and discovered worthiness as a free man, left us the most powerful truth ever spoken. No one can hurt you without your permission. But this isn't just about permission. This is about divinity. The moment you become your own validator, you become invincible. Not strong, not tough, invincible. Look at your life right now. Look at how much energy you waste trying to prove your worth to people who will never see it. Look at how much power you've given to people who use it to hurt you. Look at how much of your life you've spent performing for an audience that boos you, no matter how perfect your performance. You've been worshipping false gods who demand sacrifices, but never deliver salvation. But tonight, you commit the ultimate heresy. Tonight, you stop worshipping them and start worshipping yourself. Not in narcissism, but in recognition of the divine spark that lives inside you. You become your own priest, your own prophet, your own savior. You validate your own existence. You approve your own decisions. You love yourself with the fierce devotion you've been wasting on people who see you as disposable. When you become your own source of worth, manipulators become powerless. Their criticism becomes irrelevant. Their approval becomes unnecessary. Their presence becomes optional. You become so complete, so whole, so magnificently self-contained that you don't need anything from anyone. And that is when you become truly free. That is when you become truly powerful. That is when you become truly divine. You came here as a victim. You leave as a god. You entered as a puppet. You exit as the puppet master of your own destiny. The 5 weapons are now yours. See the performance, control your emotional fortress, defend your sacred boundaries, wield indifference like a sword, and worship the divinity within yourself. The manipulators will try to pull you back into hell. Let them try. You've tasted heaven, and there's no going back. If this video awakened the God within you, obliterate that like button. Share this revelation with other slaves ready for freedom, and subscribe for more divine wisdom that will keep you untouchable. Your apotheosis begins now.